Welcome, everybody. Just a few minutes while I go on my Okay, let's see. Give me a second. Excellent. Great. So welcome, everyone. We are live streaming on Facebook. Welcome. My name is Lana. Shalom. I'm a certified instructor and coach in NeuroGraphica. And I'm here to talk to you today about the 10th Principle of Neurographica. For the last 3 weeks, we've been talking about the 10 principles. We discussed each principle in details. And today we're getting to the last principle, the 10th principle. Okay. Hi, Lana. Nice seeing you. Excellent. I'm glad to see you found me. So let's see what's going on today, right? Let's, as usually, go through all 10 principles as a way to recap what we have been learning for the last 3 weeks. Give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. Sometimes when I share a screen or change cameras, just see if your screen gets frozen, just kind of reboot it, kind of refresh your Facebook page. So we are today talking about the 10 principles of NeuroGraphica. For the last 3 weeks, like I mentioned, we've been talking about 2 parts of the 10 principles. The first part, 5 principles, have to do with the way the human mind, the neuro part of the word, NeuroGraphica, the brain connection, the wavelengths, the thoughts, the psychology, the way, the perception, the way we view the world, and how it can be expressed through the NeuroGraphic method. And the second part, which is what we are finishing up today, are principles about graphical expression, how we can express ourselves on the paper using a pencil, a marker that is an extension of ourselves, and start expressing who we are, okay? So just quickly going, the synapses, image integrate meanings, meanings contain states of mind, problems are the creation of our thinking mind. It's important to know that each principle is built upon the previous one. So as we go to the end, it's a sum of all of them all together. That's why I'm taking you through all of them every time. And then we realize that solutions, right, as we talk about the problem that leads us to solutions, and solutions do have a bionic quality, which means we combine something that's naturally biological, given by a human being, right? By the nature, by the universe, the way our body works, we combine with a nick, with a artificial kind of part, which is with the creation of a human, right? Something like a marker that was created to extend our creativity abilities. And then we discuss how by finding solutions, we bring harmony to our life, into our life. And of course, harmony will lead to satisfaction. Okay. Number 6 is the universe fits upon the tip of the marker. We discussed how the marker is an extension of our hands, one of the most action-driven body part on our body, right? And we talked how any task has a graphical solution. We can take anything that's in our mind and put it as symbols on the paper. Discuss how paper has no boundaries, and we discuss the relevance of boundaries within our life, within whether it's in a graphical expression, drawing on a paper, or whether it's in actual our life, metaphorically. And yesterday we discussed the world is made up of shapes and lines, right? And we showed how we can take symbols, any object in our life can be symbolized by a shape, and then we connect them all together, thus symbolizing the way we connect to each single thing around us, Okay. And today we're going to discuss something interesting. Today's principle is called the drawing is easy. To draw, it's easy, right? It's interesting to know that, right? That drawing, taking a marker and start drawing. And some people may actually be kind of confused with that, right? Because if you tell me, second, I just want to make sure. Hi, Marla, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. If we start discussing what's going on here, right? You can ask me, you can say, Lana, how can drawing be easy, right? It doesn't sound like that. When I was little, I went to school and I was told that drawing cannot be easy. And I'm going to tell you the way we discuss every single principle. Let's discuss this principle part by part, word by word, right? So drawing is simple, has two parts. The first part is the drawing part, and the second part is the simple part. Let's discuss each one as we can understand it better and start realizing why did the creator of NeuroGraphic, the founder of NeuroGraphic, Pavel Piskarev, who's also the author of all these 10 principles, why did he say that? What does he mean by that? Okay. If we start thinking anthropologically, then we realize that drawing is a tool of visual thinking. It actually was created many million years ago, okay? If you think anthropologically, the way ancient people would communicate with each other, you can see many pictures, Googling it enough, you can see many, many pictures of people finding a way, drawing symbols on the rock to show how they understand certain ideas or how they want to leave a message for somebody. I want to show you something, actually. I just realized, give me a second, I'm going to do that. It's something that I actually, something that we usually learn during the labyrinth. I'm just going to show you something interesting because labyrinth is such an interesting and practice that came really from like real ancient times. So in labyrinths, I'm just going to quickly share with you, okay? Just to give you an idea of what we're discussing right now, that from ancient times, people have been communicating, okay? Look at this, right? Look at this. This is what people used to write on rocks. They used to leave symbols on the rock, right? Explaining how and why they want to say something, bringing some meaning, some symbol to their communication. And they would leave that symbol as a way, as a mode of communication for somebody else to read. Right? And that's what it is. Drawing is not just an aristocratic type of art that we are used to seeing, from museums and everything else. Drawing is really just a way to explain to you that it's a mode of communication with another person, or it's a mode of communication with oneself, right? Let's take a simpler way of talking. Let's discuss that drawing is just taking symbols. What we did actually last time, right? What we did yesterday in yesterday's session. We discussed how anything around us can be put in drawing by putting a symbol on the paper and then connecting them together. And that's exactly what it is. If we are thinking about it, is to think about it, the simplest mode of communication in our days would be something that we all do, something that we teach our children to do. It's writing, right? What is writing, right? Writing is the same thing, taking a symbol. In this case, the symbols are letters, right? And it's interesting that each culture, each nationality, each country have their own developed set of symbols that they use to communicate with each other, with others, right? And we teach our children how to do that from very little, right? since they were very, very young. We teach them that this symbol, letter A, is a symbol that makes a sound. And then we'll go further. We teach them that you can put those symbols together, and then it's going to be a separate message. It's not just the letter A for, ah for A sound. It's actually putting it together with letter P and another P and an L and an E. Then you have the word apple, right? I myself have an experience. I am an educated, I'm an educator. I am a certified reading specialist. So I remember teaching children, to children as old as fourth graders who didn't know how to read. They didn't fully understand this concept that you can take any word, any letters put together, create words, and words create meanings. They would read whatever they had to read for school, whether it's sentences or paragraphs or even like certain books, but they would lack the understanding part of it. They would not understand what they read. They would just read very, monotonous, right? Very automatically. They would put the letters together, but they lack the understanding, the connection that when we put letters together, we create meanings. Words are meanings or symbols of letting us know about certain ideas. And it's interesting to know that if you remember, if you watch the very first principle we discussed, that's exactly what we discussed. We discussed how each word has a connection to our past, a connection to our experiences, an association with what we understand about this subject. If I tell you an apple, what would be your association with it? Would it be like, oh, I think we should go apple picking because September is nearing? Would it be apple is a symbol of fall? Would it be, oh, I like apple, I want to eat it, I should go buy it? Would it be apple, I don't like apple, or it's too sour? Would it be the symbol of apple, which is a teacher, right? Teachers are symbolized by apples. To me, apple is the beginning of the fall season, the beginning of the Jewish New Year, where we eat apples. It's symbolism. It's a renewal. It's a refreshment, right? There's a lot of studies, right, on that. And it's so interesting that each one of us will have our own unique set of ideas, associations, past experiences, and also future plans about what can we do with this image. But remember, what we discussed last time, how we brought in a quadrant about how the first development, we have a child, then a teenager, then an adult, and then we go into a wise person. A wise person is somebody who chooses. So within your day, you have a lot of images. You wake up, you open up your eyes, and you start being surrounded by images, your blanket, right? Your ceiling, right? Your wall, the color of your wall, maybe a fan that you have on, everything and anything, a person who is lying next to you or not lying next to you, all of it comes into our reality and we choose. What do we want to react to? What do we want to bring into our reality and start acting upon it, right? Do we want to react to the fact that it's still nighttime, it's dark, or it's daytime, or it's light already, the sun has come up? Do we react to that? And how do we react to that? That's the interesting part. When we say drawing is easy, when Pavel says drawing is easy, he means to say that symbolizing, acting upon these ideas and symbols within you is not hard. It's possibility. It's a possibility of creating your world, creating your day, every day in you, with every minute, with every second, right? You wake up, you open your eyes, and you start creating. You start looking around and saying, okay, I'm laying down here. Why am I here? But also, what do I want to do with that information? What am I acting upon today? How am I creating the world today, right? Because again, biblically speaking, the commentators say we are the partners in creation, right? The universe was created, the world was created, but we human beings are partners. So every time we start to draw, it's our chance to kind of create a new reality for ourselves. It's our chance to say, like remember yesterday, we looked around and we actually put symbols of everything that's around us. Well, what I'm going to tell you today, don't put everything that surrounds you, but rather choose which object or which idea within you, because remember, it's not just objects that surround us in reality, but also objects that are within our mind, our ideas, our thoughts, our possibilities, our potential, right? Something we call a potential. And that's what drawing is. Drawing is taking a potential and start opening it up. Start bringing, as we use in the coaching world, we use the word resources, right? Start bringing, retrieving the resources within, right? It's a part of who we are. And here, how we're going to go to the second part of our phrase. Drawing is simple, it's easy. Okay. Drawing is a possibility that all of us have. All babies are born with a clean slate and a possibility to do anything they want to. Okay. This has been proven from many various psychological, metaphorical, medical points of view. All babies are born with a clean state. Okay. I'm a certified music together teacher. And I remember when I went to that training, one of the things that kind of struck me, one of the things that we learned was, all babies, and they did did a research on that, a medical research, where they tested babies' abilities to hear and, the hearing abilities. And they realized that all babies are born with the same ability of decibel understanding the way we understand music, this deeper understanding of finding the hues and finding the details about when somebody talks. And all babies have that ability of understanding music from a very, very high, very deep possibility. And the only thing that stands between those babies and the other one, the regular, the children who did become musical, let's say geniuses, or who developed wonderfully within the music industry, and those who didn't, is the practice. Okay. Children who were exposed to various musical practices. And when we say musical practice, it's not just singing, which by itself, by the way, is a great practice, but rather children who were exposed to various decibels, various hues within the music, various, I'm not a music person, so I don't know the full lingo, but basically various pitches and sounds within the musical abilities. I remember when my firstborn was born, my daughter was born, who is 19 now, thank God. She recently turned 19. But many years ago, right, 20 years ago, right, when I was pregnant with her, I started reading this book by two Russian educators who kind of lived in the country style. They lived in the country. They had a big house. They had like about 9 or 10 kids, that wasn't customary back then in Soviet Union. And they wrote a book saying how they developed their children to be resistant to various weather conditions, various possibilities, the way they dress them, the way they talk to them. It was like at one point that book was like a revolutionary book because people were used to things being done in a standard way. And they started saying that even when it's freezing outside, the kids come home and they start wearing shorts and shirts, short sleeve shirts at home, because this is how they get used to being resilient to wintry weather. They started, the discussion they brought was amazing. And I remember reading another book by a Japanese educator, forgot his name, but the book is named After 3 Is Might Be Too Late. And he started saying how the brain develops before the age of 3, and how everything you want your child to have, you put in before the age of 3. And that includes everything and any possibility, any kind of knowledge you want your child to possess, you put in, you give it to your child before the age of 3, because that's how they start developing those little trees of neurons, Nowadays, as we actually start practicing NeuroGraphica, we start understanding that, back then people was thinking that, You can only learn, you can develop your brain first until the age of 3. Then they started saying it might go longer until they're 7 and 8. Then they started saying fine until the person is 18 years old. The neurons get created, but it's not as easy. And after the age of 18, the adult people do not create new neurons. As we start practicing neurographic, I personally know people who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They start drawing NeuroGraphica, and they recreate, they regenerate some neurons that were either once created, or they create new neurons, they create new possibilities within their life. And this is what we want to say when we say drawing is easy, drawing is possible for anyone and everyone. We all were born as babies with a clean slate, but at one moment in our life, somebody told us that we don't draw well, or maybe our creativity was not greeted with same excitement as we did it, right? Let's say a child draws a picture and excited and shows mommy, but mommy is busy at that moment, right? Mommy is working with something and she says, okay, honey, I'll look at it later. The child becomes what? Disillusioned, disappointed that the mommy is not as excited about this creation that he or she did. And that's how people start kind of putting their creativity down. But what Pavel says is rediscover your ability to create from scratch, from a potential. Scratch means potential. Every item, every object, every thought, every idea within us has a potential. Pick it up, take a marker, put that symbol on your paper, and start developing. What does that mean to you? What does it bring to you? How do you see it? What would you like to understand? What? And that's where we go further. What would you like to bring into this idea, right? If your idea is to open up an art school, right, for children with disabilities, for example, right, then start first putting your idea and developing it, seeing what you first have. What are your resources? Remember, our favorite word is resources. What are your resources? What is within this idea already? And then you start adding. Do you need funding? Then you add a funding symbol to your picture. Because funding is important, right? We know without funding, nobody would be able to open up any art school, right? What do you have next? Then next we have finding clients or development of ideas or hiring instructors, qualified instructors who know both art and working with with the disabilities populations, right? All of this together is called drawing. Guys, what we do, we draw. Okay, when you draw NeuroGraphic, once you start becoming interested, even before you pick up a marker, you start becoming a creator. You start understanding that your mind is much more than the symbols that you see around. Your mind is a hub of possibilities, a hub of potential, and it is up to you to develop it. And what we offer with NeuroGraphica is an amazing method how you can take any possibility, any potential within you, and start creating further. Start opening up that box and seeing what's inside there. Okay? And of course, let's draw. Let's start putting what we just discussed on the paper. I'm going to change my camera again. If your stream kind of freezes, just kind of refresh your Facebook. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Let's start talking about it. And I found my new blue markers. Hooray. Okay, let's take an idea that you want to bring to life. What is it that you want to realize? What is it that you have a yearning for? Okay, what are your dreams? Something you want to bring in. Let's just bring it as a main idea here. Put it as a circle in the middle of the paper. Okay, that's your circle. That circle is you, and within you there is an idea, a thought that you feel you can bring to the world around us. Okay. 1 second, let me see. I'm just going to refresh my Facebook page just to make sure I hear and see your comments and understandings. Okay. So let's start understanding. This is me. This is who I am. This is a symbol of me, myself, and I. Whether it's the way other people see me, whether it's the way I see myself, whether it's the way I see my inner child, whether it's the way I communicate with myself. And I start thinking, what is my idea? So I will tell you my idea is I will be presenting the specialist course next week. I am thinking I would like to bring this possibility of the specialist course to many people. Okay. I want so many people to discover the beauty of NeuroGraphica, the beauty of the method of NeuroGraphica. I want other people, as we're finishing the basics course this week, I want people to start getting excited about NeuroGraphica the way I do. People wanting to bring the method to others, start using NeuroGraphica within their practice, and people taking the specialist certified course with us next week, right? So as I put that down, I start thinking, the first thing I put is I'm going to put resources that I already have, right? What is the resource? Resources, I'm an instructor, a certified instructor in NeuroGraphic, right? And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a neural line to this resource. The next resource is that I have the rights to teach the specialist course, which is very unique in itself, you know. K and G, right? You can even write your write the names of your, whatever the resource you put in it, so you know what you're doing. What other resource do I have? I'm very passionate about NeuroGraphic, okay? So that I'm going to put here. My passion about NeuroGraphic is quite high. I enjoy NeuroGraphica. I love doing this open sessions, enjoy this live interaction, even though a lot of people watch this in recording and they write to me their messages saying, Lana, I love this, and they ask me questions. I enjoy bringing this beautiful method to other people, right? Passion, right? What else do I have? I have the technical abilities, right? I have a computer that will give me the ability to connect to other people, right? I have a Zoom membership, right? I have a Zoom plan, which gives me the ability to meet up in a meeting room with many people at the same time, right? For a long period of time, right? So technology, I would say, right? I have, what else? I have something we call Facebook, right? We're using Facebook now. And as I say that, I realize what I need to do. Even though I have an Instagram account, I didn't start going on Instagram Live yet. And that's what I'm going to do. I was just discussing it actually with a colleague of mine as we did a demo session for the neuroarchitecture coaching course using different approach to drawing, the NeuroGraphica. And that's what I said. I said, let's look into this in details. And maybe I was actually planning to do it today, but I think I'm going to do it next week. So I feel comfortable being on Facebook, but I need to learn how to go on Insta, right? And that's going to be, various parts. And that's what you can do. If when you put resources that you already have, you start having an idea, oh, maybe I should do this, you can put that down right away. What else would be something that I already have? I have my tools of the trade. I have my markers. I have my favorite oil pastels that I like to use, right? For coloring. Coloring to me is very important. I'm a very emotional person. I'm an empath. So to me, expressing my emotions is very important. It's a way how I express what's inside of me. And using oil pastels gives me a possibility to express coloring the inner state of each symbol, each picture on my, each shape on my drawing gives me a deeper satisfaction, right? So tools of the trade, my markers, my pencils, my oil pastels, right? I have an array of various markers, right? If I'm drawing a mandala, it's a circular, that now I have two types of circular that I brought because I truly do enjoy. What else? What else are my resources? What did you guys put on your resources? Let's exchange ideas. My resource, I guess, would be what I'm going to do now. Drink a cup of water. Water, right? Nourishment, nutrition. That's a resource to me, right? And look what's happening now. If before I would put the neural line from outside of the circle, now I'm ready to bring it in. Now I'm ready to internalize it further, right? And if you look at the way the array of neural lines look on the inside of our circle, what would it look like to those of you who passed the basics course and way beyond it? Some of you are, but it looks a bit like the catharsis that we usually draw during the ARL when we remove limitations, right? Only now we're doing it from a different, like in a different, from the opposite kind of development, right? We're going it from kind of high to top to bottom, right? We're bringing in all the possibilities and thus removing the limitation within us, understanding the amount of neural lines we have within us that connect us to the amount of resources. I want to bring in as a resource, like I said, nutrition, drinking, eating, right? Connecting. I personally love to cook. I want to tell you, I love to cook. I would be one of those people who would watch cooking shows and then start experimenting. I would bake stuff for my children's birthdays. I would create amazing cakes for my daughter's, was it 10th birthday? I made a Harry Potter cake, which was like, I remember putting it online. People were like, you're a professional baker. And I'm like, no, I just love doing it. Then at one point, I kind of lost my knack for cooking. I just didn't enjoy it anymore, right? It was like, I just want to quickly get it over with. I would just make food quickly and go. Okay, kind of lost my, whatever you want to call it, mojo, whatever. I don't know. I didn't feel like this much attachment, right? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yay, guys. Excellent. Creativity, experience, tools, learning, passion. Exactly. Meditation, art supplies, art space. Yes. Yes, Marla. I have my own desk. I love it. I don't have my own room. I don't have my own studios, but I'm great. I have my desk and it's my studio. Whenever I sit down, I'm in the mood. Absolutely, absolutely. Qigong. Oh, Marla, you do Qigong. I love it. Something on my list. It's on my list to do it like, fully professionally. Yes, instructor course. Absolutely. Gardening. Yes, yes, guys, gardening, right? So for me, it's cooking. I want to tell you, this summer when I took a break, this break that I had for 2 months, you guys, I discovered back my mojo for cooking. I started cooking and I started enjoying it. I now spend time cooking and I discovered cooking as a way of different type of recreation of who I am on a different level. So absolutely cooking, fun stuff. I'm still not like into like anything complicated, like no more Harry Potter cakes, I still make them for my kids, buy ready-made cakes and kind of decorate them on top. But, nothing complicated, but I just enjoy cooking, I just enjoy the process that it gives me. Yes, music, absolutely. When I took that music together certification, which was about 4 or 5 years ago, 5 years ago, yeah, 16. When I was little, my mother was a single parent. And, it was the two of us, me and my brother. And all my cousins, all my friends would take music courses, music classes. All my cousins basically, honestly, are like professional piano players, almost all of them, right? My mother couldn't afford it. The music was very expensive. Taking piano lessons, that was my dream until 3 years ago, right? When I was X amount of years, let's put it this way, I took upon myself to take piano lessons, right? And the music teacher who gave classes sessions to my daughters, she started teaching me. It was amazing. It was truly, truly amazing. Um, and I started playing, and it was like amazing. I didn't go much further. It took me like about maybe a year. And then I realized my fingers had a hard time. Those of you who play piano, you know what I'm talking about. You have to keep your fingers a certain way. And I guess the fact that I'm older kind of made it harder. My fingers were aching. They were bothering me so much. I stopped. But I got it out of my system, guys. I learned how to play piano. You know, I took sessions, I took notes, you know, I learned how to go, the musical notes go. Theoretically speaking, I can create any music I want. I'm very musical able, like I have a very high musical abilities. So taking me to another point that I want to share with you, that also 3-4 years ago at the same time, I started taking vocal lessons from, again, an amazing teacher. She was teaching my daughter, she was giving her vocal lessons. And yeah, I'm going to put music here, whether it's listening, creating, singing. We have karaoke practices in our house with my kids. This is something we love to do. Put on, you know, karaoke of your favorite songs, Disney songs, right? And just doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that amazing resource, music. Music is fundamental. It's amazing. Of course, remember to round each and every connection you have. And I'm going to look at your answers, right? Art space, right? I'm going to put art space. I do have my own art space that I feel is like an important connection. There you go. Look at the array of resources. And this is the interesting part. Of course, you can just sit down and think about it, or you can even write down, right? I'm one of those people who makes lists every night, and every night I make a list of what I accomplished today and what I have to accomplish the next day, right? But drawing it, actually putting it in symbols, such as when we discussed, remember what a circle is? A circle is a comfort, is a care. You know, it's a universe way of saying, I have your back. Don't worry. Even if you fall down, just go ahead and do what you need to do. And don't worry, even if you fall down, I got your back. I am holding you. You will not hit the ground. You may fall back, but I'm here to give you support and kind of give you the necessary, support to kind of go forward. So absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to write here art space. And it's interesting. Again, pay attention to the shape, to the size of your shape. I didn't realize I was looking at music and thinking, this is too small. I should make it bigger. And I look at my art space and I'm like, oh, it's big. So my art space, I'm an introvert. So my space, my personal space is very important to me. I have a hard time creating, in outer spaces, so to say. So that's interesting to note, and see if you're ready. You may be ready at this point, maybe, maybe not. See if you're ready to put resources that you start wanting to bring into your topic, right? I want to bring an important resource, family, right? You can bring your parents again, whether they're here with us physically or not. I do a lot of work with family systems. And we're actually the financial program that I'm planning to bring in, I'm hoping September, actually has that program where we discuss the resources our parents give us, our genealogy, our ancestry give us is amazing. Oh, I like that, Marla. Dreams. Oh, yes. I studied dreams also. I took a session on dreams. Dreams are resources, by the way. Yes. I have people who told me they're afraid to dream. And I would explain to them that dreams are resources. Dreams are a way our unconscious or subconscious is telling us what resources we can find in the next day. When we have a dream, we need to wake up. This is how I was taught, and it's so fascinating. I would write down everything that I had in my dream and start understanding the symbolism. There you go. Just like when we talked about drawing being a symbolism of what we have in life and what we want to achieve. Same thing is with a dream. Dreams are a way, are graphical. I'm going to use that word, graphical symbolism. You can use it even neurographical symbolism because it's neuro, it's within your mind. and its graphical symbolism of kind of cues and messages, what you can use, what are your resources within your life. So yes, if you're a person who has dreams, vivid dreams, absolutely, they're your resources. What was this? I forgot. This was something I was discussing. Oh, parents. Yeah, parents. Yeah, and you can add family members, so it's not just parents, right? Family members, family, whatever your family is, siblings, spouses, and loved ones, right? Partners, life partners, children, everyone and everyone and anyone, the souls, the connection, the energy we have with each other is what makes it stronger, right? Family. Those of you can write friends, right? You have a strong friendship, kind of networking, right? Family, right? Some of you can write even business networking. That's a great resource. Yeah. By the way, you're saying dreams, it can give you a different part of it, right? The sleeping, the resting part. That's an amazing, one of the most underrated resource, by the way. Working on a physical level, right? Sleeping, resting is a resource, and that can be a two-side coin, right? It's both resting, sleeping, and dreaming. So put that in, absolutely, guys. Look at the amazing network of ideas and resources. And when you look at it, it doesn't make you feel so great. That's what I'm saying. You can do it in writing, you can do it in thinking, but putting it down as a drawing, as you're adding a neuroline to each one, right? Sleeping, dreaming, right? I'm going to put for myself swimming. When it's colder, it's a gym routine. I need my gym routine, right? Going to the gym is actual physical resources. I feel better. I have more energy. I like to go to the gym before I teach, because then it gives me this energy while I'm doing my teaching, while I'm doing my classes, my sessions. So for me, it's swimming or the gym, right? Playfulness, Lana, that I want to hear more, because playfulness is such a general term, but yes, we have different understandings. Yeah, to me, it would be, I guess, an array of like amazing games I do with my kids, right? Board games we do on the Sabbath. What else? I just bought an array of mental games, right? Where it's truly awesome, where you can take some playfulness. You're saying it's a story of Little Red Riding Hood, but you have to build a pathway of how she gets to the house. It's like a puzzle type of. If any of you are interested, let me know. I'll send you an Amazon. You can put it in the comments, and I'll share with you the Amazon link. Great for neurodevelopment, guys. Amazing, great development of logic, mindfulness, a lot of things. Yeah, making art, not taking it seriously. There you go. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Having fun is what you're saying. Yeah, creativity. For me at least, creativity is having fun. Okay, creativity is not serious. And that might be, by the way, a limiting thought, right? We're working with limiting belief thoughts in our group, but that could be a limiting thought, right? I'll send you a link. I think it's made by Learning Resources. It's a company that makes amazing toys. I used to teach a lot gifted and talented programs with the kids. So I would look for those kind of games. It develops rationality, logical, but also develops, your mental abilities. It's like playing chess, but in a different way, it's a fun way. I'll send you a link later. I'll put a link actually in this under your question. But yeah, absolutely. And start adding more, and start also, guys, what you can do is, we're going to hear soon, but what you can do is you can connect different resources together for a better connection, better networking, right? I know, right? Like, let's say technology connects with a tool, right? And it's true. And you can go through yourself. And by the way, those of you who passed the specialist course, what does this remind you of? Which algorithm? Right? I do want to know, those of you who are interested in developing this algorithm, learning this for further, in more details, and furthermore, learn how you can bring this, use this within your practice on a more, certified professional level. Welcome to join us for the specialist course. One day next week, I will make an announcement. We'll have an open session for the specialist. This is an amazing, amazing possibility, amazing way to start bringing your passion to others, to what others can bring you, right? There you go. Interesting. Start paying again, if you want to do the reflection process, pay attention to your body, your thoughts, your emotions. And then again, what will bring you more insight into who you are, right? What else? Yeah, it is true, Lana, of course, it's true. You wrote true, and I'm starting to think, what is she saying true to? What did I say that she's saying true? Then I realized you're talking about the algorithm. Yeah, you can connect music with the art space, right? And I used to draw in a live, I used to have a live group when I used to live in New York. I would have a live group of my friends slash, students. And when we would draw, when we would get to the coloring, to the archetyping part, we would turn on music, because that's a meditational part, right? That's a time when people just want to be by themselves, just creating something new, bringing in colors. And that's what we would use. Music does connect with art space and passion. What else, right? I'm going to connect parents. You can go through the circle of who you are, connect them to my family, right? Connection, right? Even though my mother is not around, I do always feel that she has a strong connection to my younger kids who never seen her. And she's a resource to them through me, right? Through the things she taught me. Remember, connecting everything together. And again, when you connect, you can do it both intuitively, just connecting with each other, or yeah, algorithm, true, yeah, or doing it consciously, saying, I want to connect Facebook with, what I'm starting to understand, I need to find a social media person who's going to help me navigate or advertise on social media, right? And I'm going to connect that together with social media person, right? I'm going to connect that through myself with the Facebook symbol, right? And actually on its own as well, just connecting them together, bringing them together makes a stronger resource. Look at your own shape now. Look how many neural lines you have inside. Look how many connections, how many resourceful connections and networking you have inside. This is what you have to help you understand that whatever your goal is, whatever your task in life is, you can take it, you can do it, because look, you have so much support around you. That's what it is. I'm going to start to say goodbye to you guys again, as usually. Welcome to finish your picture and post it to us, share with us as this amazing, as we're nearing finishing today our 10 principles, but next week, we're going to start the 7 steps of the algorithm. And one day we're going to do, even though today kind of was a mini open session about the specialist, because what we did is similar to one of the algorithms we draw in the specialist course. So maybe that's what it is. We'll figure it out. I'll see if I am, if I want to do something more. maybe we'll have a informatory session about specialist course and then which one. Okay. But by the way, you can start taking it to the outside unless you did it already, right? You can take this neurolines, this resources that you created, put on your paper as that you drew. And always remember, drawing is easy. It is possible for everyone and anyone. You can do it. Anyone can do it. You know, any child, any adult can do this. Just putting some circles and some lines. You learn how to do it. Yeah. There you go. I'm going to, so kind of connect it to your outside, see where it goes from there. Oh, you're welcome, Lana. It's my pleasure. I thank you for being there, being an amazing audience. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. Your amazing questions, all of you guys. You have amazing additions. Your comments, your questions made it so amazing for me to, to bring this to you. Okay. I was very happy, very glad to share this knowledge, which kind of deepened my own understanding. So, of course, we, as I always say, we learn from each other. There's no set rules who is a teacher and who is a student. There's no such thing. We are all teachers and students in the huge drawing we have that's called life, right? Yeah, thank you, Marla. Thank you for joining us. I loved your comments, your addition to the full deep process understanding of what we're doing here. Wishing you a beautiful summer day ahead. Join us next week. I will post the calendar probably around the same time if you guys need to plan. I think it's going to be the same time as we did this week. Just probably will confirm it with a separate post, but I'm looking forward to seeing and learning more about the 7 steps of the algorithm as we start delving into that deeper. Wishing you a wonderful day ahead, a beautiful summer ahead. Some of you I will see now in a different session, neuro coaching group, and goodbye. Enjoy your weekend. Summer weekend is ahead. Okay. Yeah.